Go back all the way to the beginning. How'd you become a Prowler?
Well, I had just finished. We were in the finals, Danville Dashers versus Watertown Wolves. It was the finals of 2015, and we had just lost in Game 5. I was walking out of the rink, and Barry tapped me on the back, and he said, "Hey, great season." And he just said, "I talked to your wife." He goes, "Look forward to chatting with you, but get ready to pack. You're going to Port Huron." And I was like, you're like ready to cry. You just lost in the finals. You're like, man, I was so close. But then I knew I was packing my bags to go do something even more special. So starting Danville, being a part of that was awesome. Coming here was really cool. I remember our first press conference when we pulled down the black curtain and revealed the logo and the name. We probably had just over 100 people down the basement of the theater. And it was a fun little press conference, but, that kind of set the tone. People were there. People wouldn't show up to press conferences in Danville. There'd be 2-3 people there. Here, there's 110 people there. You're like, wow, like this is awesome.
Yeah. You guys did have a pretty special first year.
Yep, I'm literally looking at the banner right now, just thinking about all the fun memories. But yeah, that first year, we came in here with a good core group of guys. They had all played on Dane together, won a championship there, and I got to do that with them. And when we came here, we knew what we wanted. We just wanted to celebrate. We wanted to break the curse. We wanted to do all this stuff. So, people had told us it was like 45 years or something since their last championship. Felt like we were the Chicago Cubs. So it was awesome.
So the first story, and this one was from a few guys. They told me about you had an adventure getting to a game at the Turtle Dome. They said something about a motorboat and.
Oh yeah, so I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell it. It's like I don't know the statute of limitations, but there used to be a team in Akwesasne, and Akwesasne Island is a Indian reserve in between Messina, New York, and Cornwall, Ontario. And the island sits there. Well, the Border Patrol, the Canadian side, used to be out on the island. Well, they got forced off the island, so it was kind of free reign. So you could get from the U.S. onto the island, no problem, but you couldn't get from the island back into the U.S., no problem. You had to go through customs. So one night I didn't have my passport. We were playing over there, and equipment manager from the home team, Akwesasne, just drove me to the game, dropped me off. He went and checked in Canada because you'd have to go all the way up and then back. And he went and did that. We played the game, and afterwards I was like, how do I get back in the U.S.? I still don't have a passport. And they were just like, well, wait here. And after waiting around a few hours, they found me a ride. But, yeah, it was by water. And, yeah, we'll just leave it at that. But, yeah, somehow I made it home.
And then there's another one. You said you played at Martha's Vineyard. You guys had to take a ferry or something like that?
Yeah, I actually I was just listening on the way up here, listening to the last episode of Spin Chicklets. And they just had Nick Vitucci on. He's an ex-New York Islander. And he had actually played in that Martha's Vineyard game as well because he's living on the island. He's like, that's home to him now. So when the games came there, it was, he called it was funny. On Spin Chicklets, he called them the Cape Cod Dolphins. And he's like, I signed with the Dolphins. And but yeah, the Cape Cod Bluefins played 2 games on Martha's Vineyard, and we had to take fishing boats, like fishing charter boats that were like all open. There was like no inside. It would like look like the boat from Jaws. We had to like take it across the Sound and go to the island and play over there. So really fun. But the night we played there, Danbury went out there. I think they lost. Cape Cod won. Or something like that. Maybe Danbury won. We went out there, Danville. We beat them. Close game, bunch of fights. And on the way back, Cape Cod took the nice boat and left early, took off on us. Well, we got stuck out there on the crappy boat, and it started storming. Well, all of a sudden, I think of that movie with Mark Wahlberg, The Perfect Storm. The guy's like, we got to take the long way around or we'll never make it. And all of a sudden, we're on the back of the boat because there's no room inside. The waves were coming up over Chris Affinati, who's not a big guy. The water was up to his knees. There's other guys like it was like that audio meme, like, I love you boys, but we're all gonna die out here. Like, it was like that. It was wild, and it made me realize that I never want to do the Deadliest Catch or like any of those fishing shows. I'm like, I'm okay without that.
So besides the championship, what's probably your favorite memory, here in Port Huron?
Well, win the championship here, yeah, like, has to be one. Doing so much stuff with my son and my family here, watching almost every one of my kids had like their first game here. We moved here when Will was he was a year and a half, so he was still a baby when we came here. So it was awesome. We raised our family here, but I played for the Port Huron Prowlers, and my dad was my head coach. I was his player assistant. I thought, we fought like crazy and yell at each other like crazy Italians, but it was a very unique setup, and probably not a lot of people have ever experienced that. I would say win the championship, just watching my kids get raised around the team, and then being able to work with my family and my dad like that at the professional level. So, but yeah, the memories are endless from that run in 18 when we lost again in the finals to Watertown. That was a fun season. Great group of guys. Everywhere we went, we were just yelling, screaming, trying to olay the roof off every building. It was we tried to bring soccer to hockey. We wanted like chanting and craziness that year. So that was a really fun year, and that was the first year I was ever with Matt Graham. So that's a memorable year because that was my introduction to Matty Graham Cracker there.
Yeah, so. And now you have him running the team.
Yep.
Just how do you think he's been doing?
He has been doing phenomenal. But I have to say, if anyone forgot, when Matt took over as player head coach and Alex was his player assistant that first season, they were leading the league in penalty minutes. So I know everyone just thinks it's me, but you saw firsthand, once they were put under the pressure of running the team by themselves, you get a little more just aggression. You want to take that aggression from the office work that you can't get out. You just put it out there on the ice. So it was fun to see him, he kind of exploded right there his first season. He got it under control. But here, everything they've been doing, the promotions, the stuff going on at the games, the specialty nights, he's been doing awesome. And that was kind of the thing, is we were never ready to leave because we knew that we weren't leaving it in, good hands. We weren't leaving with someone that was going to stay here and take care of it. And Matt and Amber, Matt met Amber, they got married, and Matt's a lifer here now. Amber grew up here, and I think it was a good thing that his wife, tied him down a little bit. The ball and chain kept him here because gave us the opportunity to go start something new and give him the chance to take over and be a leader here. And it's been fun to watch him, but it's fun to also play him and beat up on him a little bit. So,
Yeah, that new venture now that really started last year, I guess kind of started a couple of years ago. What was the attraction to go down to Mississippi?
Well, we had young kids, and it was all during COVID, and everyone knows, I wasn't big into all the COVID stuff, so I'm like, I want to get out of here, and I didn't want to bail, so we had kind of came up with an idea that we'd approach Barry and say, one more year, and then we're done and gone, and you got 1 year to figure it out. And 3 weeks later, we owned a house in Biloxi, Mississippi, and we had sold our house here already, and we were like gone a month later. And it was like, what happened to a year? It was like Barry said there's an opportunity. We looked up homes, found a good deal on one. We were like ready and gone. And the next time I talked to Barry, he was like, so did you make a decision? And I was like, I didn't call you, did I? And he's like, no, why? I was like, I think he was expecting me to say we're staying. I was like, we bought a house in Biloxi. He's like, what? He's like, we don't even have a lease on the building. He's like, I don't know if Biloxi's going to happen. I was like, well, it better happen, or if not, I live on the beach now. I was like, so see you later. And we were there doing a press conference 30 days later. announcing that we were bringing the neutral site games there. So that was fun, and being able to finish out that year with the Prowlers and get those games in, and be a part of Matt's first year, that was fun. And then last year again to play against him down in the South, we had those games in Baton Rouge against him that got a little crazy. So Amber was calling me, telling me, you better not fight Matt. We had a deal. So there's a deal. I get free rooms at the DoubleTree if I don't beat up Matt, and free cookies.
You always get free cookies.
But no, I love them. I got to come back and be a part of their wedding, so they're going to be friends for life. But it's nice to know that we know that someone's here taking care of this, because the Prowlers do, they mean a lot to us. There's still Prowlers gear in our house or little things around. So I think there's still one magnet out in the garage on the utility box. Okay, well, first time I ever played here as a pro, I'm down here with the Rockford Ice Hogs, and up there is the Port Huron Beacons. So we had all our equipment stuff out here, and we're doing stuff, and those guys are walking above you, and then you're afraid, you're like, oh, if you start yapping back and forth, are they just going to splash coffee down on you? Like, oh my gosh. Then I see two guys come down the stairs, and they dip towards the back door. I'm like, oh, what the heck? I walk this way. It's Gretzky's little brother, Brent Gretzky, and this guy, Jason Firth. They're hiding over there by the back door smoking cigarettes. That's what kind of league it was back then.
Was it the league?
The United Hockey League. Yep. So you would see both of them standing here like this. They'd stand here like this at intermission, smoke cigarettes. Then years later, my dad coaches the team, and he's standing here at intermission smoking cigarettes. I can't get away from these guys. See these steps? These steps have been just as chewed up. You think, oh, the Prowlers need better steps? When we moved in here, the steps looked like this. We had no complaining from this crew. Oh, look at the new carpet. Matt called me, FaceTimed me when they got this carpet. It's beautiful. Underneath it, hopefully there's still not the red moldy stuff.
Oh, I'm sure it's still there.
Okay, Will, I sat many places around here. I sat right here, I sat right here, and I sat right here. I didn't really move far, and I didn't let anyone else sit next to me. So it's nice to see these guys are sharing this. I'm giving them a tour. I told them I got dressed in a lot of stalls here. Got dressed right here, and I got dressed right there. So this stall right over here, this was the infamous, this was Ahmed Mahfouz's stall. And then it turned into Zach Zolkanik. But Ahmed Mahfouz would get dressed here. He was mad because during the Port Huron Flags days in the 40s, 60s, 70s, 80s, this was the door to the shower. So still sometimes water would leak out here, get all his stuff wet under the carpet. And he was always mad about that. And I was like, if you don't like it, move stalls, Foos. But yeah, a lot of memories here. I can tell you the first year, I think Graham was right here, and this was Parkhouse. And then when Parkhouse retired, Graham was like, I love him. I need his stall. And Graham moved into a stall and has never moved out of it. He's like, that's my buddy's stall. I'm surprised he didn't switch his number to 71.